What is up, my dogs? Yeah, we're back for another chat by the fire. We're here with more Pipe Classic 14 Heat. This episode featuring the incredible Joe Peters, just a true master of sea life and natural forms. I mean, he's also known for the honeycombs and all sorts of amazing things, but and he's somebody who's been doing this a long time. His work is in the Corning Museum. This dude is 10 out of 10. Speaking of people I think are 10 out of 10, let me introduce you to my co-host, the lovely Carrie Strope.
Oh, you're such a wordsmith. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Fireside Chat. We're excited to bring you, what is this, number 4 in the Pipe Classic
Yep, in our month of Pipe
series?
Classic, it
Yeah,
landed
and
on a
there's
month.
another week left.
Right, because there's 5 Tuesdays this month, so I kind of did that one to myself, didn't I? But whatever, it's okay.
That's exciting. Well, the next one,
Yeah.
Tito's going to join us, so
That
the
is
man
right. Yeah,
himself.
exactly. So yeah, guys, if you're not familiar or haven't been tuning into the Pipe Classic episodes, man, Tito Burn is one of the people who founded this competition and the owner of the Burn Gallery where it's hosted. It's about to have its 15th year in the finale. If you have any chance of getting to Burlington for this next month, it is going to be incredible. There's like a judge's pass for $75, gets you in the whole week to watch 3 amazing flame workers at a time. There's a pass that has amazing food. But anyways, yeah, we wanted to give Tito a huge shout out and a huge thanks for making this all possible, all of these shows and, this amazing time that I had. But we will have him with us next week to thank him in person. And that will be an episode about Serto, who actually took first place. But not to get too far away from tonight, man, because Joe Peters is an absolute master. And I'm really excited to share what we're gonna run tonight. It's not the longest one. I was actually filming Serto at the same time and trying to really capture that process in as much detail as I could. But we have some really really cool stuff, sculptural stuff, really neat shit. So there was a couple of things I wanted to share. First of all, let me just show you what we're about to see. Here's the finished piece by Joe Peters, and he even had a video of himself out here scuba diving, so he's not like faking the funk. This is somebody who truly does this and appreciates these things, in the real life and nature, and then is just one of the best out there at translating it into glass. His work it really is all over. It's in like hospitals, all sorts of stuff. Really really impressive. The man actually has a Wikipedia article.
No
that
way.
that's how dope he is. It's like him and Bob
Wow.
Snodgrass, that's it.
Right on.
Until I
That
make one for myself or whatever.
yeah, right. The area that he was scubaing there, it's a pretty well-known location where they've made this sculpture garden that is supposed to attract coral, to get coral to start growing again.
Oh, fascinating. Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for that
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 looks pretty
detail.
sweet.
And yeah, this piece is just incredible. So we'll get to see some sculpting on that amazing shark, and we're gonna get to see how that donut was made into the body here. We got some cool stuff to share. The overlay technique on the I guess they're corals or something coming off is really neat. We're gonna start with that. In fact, let's go ahead and pop the party off. Oh, there was one other thing, dogs. There's actually a flyer now for the bash at the beach that if you were with us when we were running the Eugene stuff, we had Kevin Dankman from Champs with us, kind of giving us the first drop. And then here's the actual. I mean, was my man bullshitting or what? Look at this lineup.
I mean,
Even I snuck on it. It's crazy, but
Mike Mason Glass. It
yeah, yeah.
must be
So
good. Yeah.
right, right.
No, that's great. Kevin Beecher's going to be there. The melt thing is being skipped this year. I think this maybe is kind of filling that gap, it looks like, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the one who actually shared the flyer in Torch Talk, and that just warmed my heart, because I think this is as close an equivalent we're gonna get to melt this year. Pipe Classic is a whole different beast. So I don't mean it like that. I mean a big social event where a lot of people can be at once. The Burn Gallery can only hold so many people. Once those judges passes sell out, that's it. And but here, man, I mean, you're just gonna get a room and then be able to take part in this amazing thing. The lineup is sick. So many of my friends and people I've had the pleasure to get to know through Champs. Yeah, man, I'm really excited about this. Eugene coming back out. Freaking Bates, man, Steve Bates. Is he with us tonight? Um,
I don't see him yet.
anyways, he's been joining us sometimes. But look at this, man. I really think they've done something. They've put together something really fucking fire here, and it is to support charity too. And so much, man. Collaboration stations, blow with the pro, solo stations,
Ooh.
and it's all right off the beach in Daytona, man. So we're gonna be out there doing the damn thing, man. It's yeah. So, anyways, I was really excited about this and wanted to share. So, without further ado, let's pop this bad boy off. Homies, we're just going to take 1 minute to acknowledge support from viewers like you who have been pitching in on the Torch Pass thing and these companies that drop a little bit of money um, each month and make it possible for me to get to all of these shows. I mean, I'm not really making any money off of this. The money comes in and it immediately goes out, and then I have to go into my pocket. But so I don't anybody think I'm out here cashing in on the dogs. But these companies make this whole thing possible, and it's a real labor of love, and I just couldn't do it without the support from the community and the support from these companies. So, man, just a moment to give them a huge shout out here.
And thanks to everybody here that's tuning in too, because that's a big reason that we can still do this as
Yeah,
well.
of course, man. It's because y'all are here in good spirits, making this thing a party and having a positive community around this that grew. It's all just a big circle of love, and I'm, thrilled to play my part. I'm thrilled you guys are here to enjoy this together. It's a good day. And yeah, if you guys could pitch in a fiver, torchpass.org. But here we are at the Burn Gallery in beautiful Burlington, Vermont. This incredible sunset. Look at those incredible gas prices. And this was the house where they were doing the meals, and the artists were staying. Just absolutely amazing view. I think it was Lake Champlain. I'm not a big Great Lakes guy, but I ridiculous food like this, homies. If you get that food pass, man, I mean, you could be eating out every night and spending just as much, but they really take good care out there. I'm telling you, it was like living a dream out here. I saw Bob Weir tripping balls driving a ATV in the ocean. And I'm just playing. I don't know what that guy was doing though, man. I was like, I didn't know they was built for that. And I just really like this dog, so I left it in the thing. And here's Patty, who works at the Burn Gallery with his band, incredible musician. This was at one of the parties. Yo, guys, they had medicated ice cream at another one of the parties, yo. Ice cream bar. And this is another location, man, at this cool-ass hemp company. They were like, don't be coming in trying to steal the hemp. That's getting turned into Delta 9 or whatever. This is what bathrooms are like in Vermont. And yeah, I think there will be a live stream this year again, like they've been doing, so don't sleep on that. And yeah, man, all these companies pitched in to help make this possible, and GTT coming in hard. Look at this. This is the incredible main prize, Delta Mag. Holding it so light. Yeah. I kind of wired you.
It's like the through theme for the shows.
Yeah, we start each one with a gong because Pipe Classic starts each day with a gong. And in this case, we got a double gong, man. But Tito, I don't know. I mean, he's the man, of anybody who should be manhandling that gong, it's him. But clearly we needed Amy Short of Las Vegas to demonstrate the proper technique. She looks like she's banged a gong or two or whatever. I don't know. That sounds like it has like another meaning or something, but I promise it doesn't.
Well, it's that song. Bang a
song?
Get it on, The bang a gong.
I don't even know.
Dude, that's an 80s song. It's totally it's your era.
I've heard the song. I just don't remember. I could never tell what the fuck they were saying in that part. It's bang a gong, huh? All right.
Bang a gong. That's why it sticks with you now. It was subconscious.
All right, fair enough. So check this out, dogs. This is this overlay technique that I was mentioning. Um, I really think this is cool. I've seen a bunch of ways to do this type of thing, get one color over another. And I've seen Salt do a similar type of coiling thing, but he's usually spiraling the glass. Whereas Joe here is just going for this really flush application and spinning this around. I think it's a really interesting method. This looks like one of those molten aura guys there. I did a comb with this color once.
How did
Yeah,
it turn out?
just it was interesting because it's like it looks pastel until it gets really hot, and that's what you're actually seeing here are like the parts of it that didn't get as hot, so they're still looking kind of pastelish.
Mm-hmm.
And in the comb, it's kind of hard. You really have to get it hot to get them to all go clear, and then they have that beautiful purple that they're supposed to. Other ones, if you kind of, if you're being really careful and trying to preserve the lens, you'd get this mixture of the opaque and the thing, which, it's one of those things other people might like it, but to my eye, it wasn't what I was aiming for. So, yeah. I'll tell you one that really worked for that process was Stargazer. That stuff is pretty bomb. That was really workable. In any event, not to talk
This
about
is
my
really
work
pretty.
here. Yeah, isn't this neat? Now, once it
Yeah.
all cooks down, all those striations are going to disappear. But yeah, finishing it off there, you know, getting that last bit by punnying up after it was in the rod holder. Homie in the chat says, this is the technique I used to boil my color rods on accident.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta have the flame set right. It looks like he's working a pretty oxidizing flame here, and I suspect this is just a pretty forgiving color. If you were raging this hard with that big-ass outer flame on a cadmium, you'd probably need to work a lot further out, and you'd want to be kind of dancing it up and down as you go to preheat the rod. A lot of it is just about having it preheated, and so that would be my advice with more sensitive colors is, and once you get used to that thing, I wish I could pull up a video of it, but really it's as you're working, you're just kind of moving the blank and the rod in your hand. So it's like your two hands are just moving in unison back and forth a bit, so that as you're striping, you're kind of preheating the section ahead. And I do that with Marini and especially the sensitive colors, and that can really make all the difference in the world between it just wanting to bubble up for, the whole time and a nice, smooth fucking layer. So that would be my advice there. And here we're just seeing the dog cook this in now. It's almost like it's a coil pot or anything else. You just really need to let it get very hot. Let it kind of want to naturally soak in and even out, and a little bit of marvering. It looks like he's not doing too much marvering, though. I respect that. It's something we were talking about with Chaka recently, about that over marvering thing, how that can really kind of put some stress into the surface of the glass or just overwork the glass surface. So it's like, the less you can use that marver, the better in certain circumstances. And here you'll notice he often uses those diamond shears, and he usually pulls a little peak out. I think in this case he wasn't trying to open it, but you notice he'll like I said, he'll drag a little bit of glass out and then go in on it. Serto over there on the snack break. And of course he has a spray bottle sitting there for some reason. I'm just kidding. Serto's famous for the spray bottle rigs or whatever, so I thought that it made me laugh. Anyways, okay, so check it out. Most of that overlay color is cooked in. He's going to get a handle on it so he can really cook in that other end close to the blow tube, because that's where it's going to want to get weird. How about that shirt? Do y'all suffer from dumpy ass?
Ew.
That's what it says.
I don't want to hear about it, though. I mean, I'm sure you all don't want to hear about it if I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you should be pretty immune from this. You know,
Yes.
you're
All,
hashtag blessed, so you don't
all
gotta
those
worry
greens I
about that.
eat,
You know.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. This is different.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like All right. Anyways.
Different. Yeah. Back to something a little bit more palatable.
That's why they keep flagging our episodes 18 and up.
Yeah, that's why. That's why we go all
Yeah.
German porn over here.
Yeah. So over here, he had a little V-necker tool. Somebody's lunch was in the way and shit like that, you know. There's some artists I'll be like, yo, can I move this? And there's other artists where I don't see a goddamn thing. And you know, a master like this, I can't even begin to say how much respect I have for this guy. And yeah, he's just one of the best. He's just been an inspiration for my work on the honeycomb stuff too. You know, he was always doing really cool things with it, and you know. All right, so check this out, guys. I kind of walked over, you know, and was like, "Oh shit, the shit's going down." And so he's making the donut here. And if you're not familiar with this technique, essentially he pushed almost like he used essentially a bowl push or a reamer to indent the two sides together, and then used the tungsten pick to slice through it and create an opening where they're essentially already joined. And then from there, it's really he used that much thinner brass reamer when the hole was small, and then as he's cooking this in, he switched to a bigger graphite reamer. And he'll switch to, like, I think even the bowl push that he used to push them as well to finish out the donut. So this succession of reamers, I think, is really clutch. Just watch how he's doing it, how many steps it takes. I don't think these are too difficult. It's just a matter of taking your time and, you know, working it back and forth and cooking it in and blowing it, you know. And after you've really repeated this process, you know, it's boom, these things are really, really solid and stress free. You know, I'm not a architect, but you know, it's like that arch concept. You know, it's just like a good happy shape for glass to be in, you know, so long as you don't embed stress. So I thought this was really cool. And we're going to see actually some work on that blank a little later before it got to this point. But I wanted to front load you guys with some cool tricks, sort of thing, you know. Time means nothing here at Torch Talk. No, just all right, check it out. Now he's really going in and polishing the interior there. These are like the master steps, you know what I mean? I don't know if I've ever done this on a donut, frankly, but now I'm going to be going back and looking at it and thinking if I should or not, you know? All right, so check this out. He's shaping out a blank for the fins here. So I thought you guys should see that. He may have already given it a squash or two, you know, but he started essentially with the blank, getting it the colors that he wanted, because they're like a two-sided thing, and then smushed it into that straight up like candy bar shape. And then now, yeah, I see that he used the tweezers and got it all really dank heat kind of mode and stretched it all out. And now he's got this nice thin, it's essentially making a ribbon, you know. If you get too caught up in like, oh man, it's a fin, you know, you kind of get lost, and then it's just like, oh wait a minute, that's just like any other ribbon cane. But what he does with it after it's attached is where the real magic is, and what I'm really excited to share. Shit, I feel like fucking 20,000 people already saw it or something on Instagram. I cannot believe how that reel is doing. Oh my word.
Yeah, folks, if you're not making reels yet.
Yeah, I'm not even playing, man. Like, I'm on the drug now. Fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even playing. I've made 4 reels so far. And the first one had 622 views. The lace face one, 3,798. The Chaco one, 6,587. And it looks like we're already at 11,000 800
Almost 12.
views
Yeah. That's
on
insane.
the reel with Joe Peters. You're attaching a fin. And all I can do is, it's like my duty to the universe or whatever, to go where the
I
eyes are.
have to
So
keep going then.
so here we are. But I'm pretty stoked. It seems like the algorithm or something is like, okay, this guy's making reels that people actually might want to watch. And so give me a follow at Mike Mason Glass on Instagram if you're not already for some reason, because I'm not playing. I've kind of got it down now, like my head around it and all the kinks and all that stuff. So, and if you guys haven't done that shit, I'm telling you, man. I mean, even if it's simple, just here's the rods, here it is in the middle, here it is at the end, and all you can do is, like, play their game. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. And right now they're just not doing shit with posts on your wall. But reels, if you can get that going, I think it's just a great thing. As much as I like, I'm like an old man now. I'll be 42 this year, and I'm just like,
Old
what's
man
all this
Mike.
this real shit? It's for kids or whatever. But nah, it's just like, following the trends in the industry. So if you're not making reels, dog, I feel like I'm probably preaching to the choir because I'm late to it, but
My baby.
and the numbers just don't lie. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
Mike, what are you talking about? We've been telling you this for years.
Mike, we've been making reels for a year already.
Yeah. All right, so here's one of these fin attachments after it was shaped. This is the top fin. And man, what I really noticed was that he really took his time getting the body of it hot. But then when he actually does the attachment, it's mostly on the fin, that's got a lot of heat. And I think that's allowing him to get that really smooth connection and not like glob a bunch of glass and misshape the shark, you know what I mean? And here's one of the other ways he gets that really distinct, you know, um, taper or whatever the line as it comes off the body. He's using those little masher pliers and coming in and giving it that, giving it the business right at that connection. And here he's even using it to do some shaping. It all looked easy to follow until this point, and now it's like here's the fucking master at work kind of scenario in terms of how he's able to, once he's got a seal he's happy with, then he's able to kind of, do this bigger shaping. And then on the side fins, we'll see him go with the hand torch and even lay some of the white between the fin to kind of reestablish that color line between where the bottom of the fin comes out. Like I said, hard decisions had to be made because I was filming 3 people at once, and I do in my heart wish that we had a bit more footage, but what we have here really does hit some amazing notes and kind of gets to the heart of, how this guy is so good. So here he added the fin, but it didn't have the pattern yet. So he dotted it on after it was already kind of sealed in and shaped for the most part.
Love that you just got out of the gopher hole and jumped behind him.
Well, see, no, I was on the side there, but I think at some points here you'll see somebody in the gopher hole, so you'll finally get a chance to experience that. And then
Okay, all
here
right.
he did attach one of the side seals, but I think I was kind of in the middle of moving because I knew what we were setting up for, so I wanted to be in position for at least one of them. And the next one we have a bit more clear on the seal itself. But that moment when he came in and cut it after it was attached, I thought was really important. And then really something else to notice here is that, like most of these sculptors, they all use some kind of visual reference. It's almost impossible for me to think of one right now who just does it straight out of their head. Everybody has some kind of picture on the bench that they're using as a reference. In this case, he's got a picture of the shark on his phone. And even when he was adding the dots and everything, he was looking at it and like, how many dots are on the real shark's fin, all these things in order for it to truly represent that species of shark.
Well, I mean, really, if you're going to be creating art, you need to be able to observe, and to observe, you have to have something that you're looking at. And so, I mean, even especially people that are sketching things, they have something that they're looking at,
Yeah, I
It just makes
completely
sense.
agree. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's obvious. I just feel like it's worth mentioning,
Yeah. Oh,
that
yeah,
like
for
even
sure.
the best, man, they all have some kind of reference out. Don't be scared, don't pretend you have to like learn how to do this straight out of the dome. You can always put something up and, be studying it as you go. And every time he was attaching the fins, he was looking back at it and making sure that they're just in the right placement on the real shark. And it really is masterful. There's only so many people alive who are this good. Mauro Vianello is another one.
Oh my gosh, his pieces are so realistic looking.
Yeah, there's some others I probably don't know about, but in my brain, like Mauro is like the soft glass, maestro with that, and Joe Peters is like our borosilicate functional world sea life maestro. And here I was mentioning this moment earlier. He used a bit of a stringer of the white to kind of reestablish, I think, that color line in between the bottom of the fin and the base. You can see it floating off just a little there. But yeah, it makes for like the perfect transition from the bottom of, the body of the shark here. And here he's getting ready to do the other fin. And on this one, instead of cutting some off after it was added, he was really sizing it up compared to the other in real time. And, decided he needed to remove a little material so that we saw him slice that bad boy. So just something to think about, once you've got one thing on, don't be afraid to study your thing versus the reference. Sometimes you got to look at what you did or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a big sculpture guy, but that's what I noticed this master was doing. He took that extra moment to kind of size up what material was there and what was needed.
Hmm.
And this thing is just so striking. He chose a great one for this piece, with all the dots on it and everything. Just so good. So yeah, okay, so now we're into the one, like I said, where we really did get to see it go on and each move here in detail. Um, these side fins, he really took that time with that hand torch and cooked those in. So just something to think about. Look at how crisp those attachments are, man. They really do just read.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, huge shout out to Joe and all these artists at Pipe Classic who were kind enough to, you know, have one more camera in their face. And I'm not like these other guys who, are there getting the quick shot. I'm just there in their face bugging them for out. No, I'm just playing. I don't like I said, man. I play it by ear. If the artist wants to talk, man, I'm all talk. If the artist is focused, I ain't
Oh,
saying a
there's the
damn
gopher
word.
hole.
Yeah, see, that's what I was mentioning. So yeah, we've been joking about it, and it's. I mean, have I been bullshitting? It's literally a tiny ass hole under the bench. You have to
Right,
crawl
yeah.
under,
Here you go. This is your spot.
and then you pop up. And yeah, it's gonna be sometime in the future because it's an editing nightmare. But Mattis Cookie's piece is really impressive. He made a ton of all of his like trash miniatures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I was filming most of it in the gopher hole kind of by hand, and it's just gonna and it's like he was my very first like real teacher. I apprenticed with Fat Mike, but when I actually started taking classes, I spent a week with Mattis Cookie, and he was really an important figure. And so when I had this opportunity, um, I wasn't gonna let it pass, and I filmed a lot. So I have like 250 pieces of footage to sort through. Some of them are the
Nice.
let me correct that. Some of those are the XML files that are attached to it. Here's Gills, you guys. This is amazing part right here. Let me shut up. Look at this. Just look at that timing. And yeah, he's using like a just like a kind of hunting knife. Every artist has their knives, so it's neat to add Joe Peters to the knife documentation. I still think the most unique one was Micah Evans using a book binder. Yeah, it's some shit nobody has even done since the 1800s. How did he get that? I don't know. Micah's a wizard. And yeah, so that was most of the work here, and now that they were both attached and shaped out essentially, he really took a good minute with a really proper annealing flame. And I left in some of these in essentially full length because it's just like, this is a master of this. Like, who else can you watch and learn exactly how long and what flame to be using for stuff like this, you know? And it's just so nice to have like a gold standard example, and it's just, I feel so lucky to be able to share this with you guys out there, and you know, to get to watch it firsthand, and you know, all these events and companies that have made this possible for me, man. I'm the luckiest fucking dude, and that's you guys as well, man. It's like, I know you guys, or I'd like to think you guys enjoy it and learn from it, just so like we're all benefiting. That's like the best shit, you know, and everybody's truly like in a mutually beneficial relationship, and that's how I feel this is all kind of worked out for the industry and the audience, and dare I say even the artists themselves, you know. Joe Peters doesn't need it, but I'm still happy to put some fresh eyes on what an amazing glass worker he is, you know. All right, so check it out. This is like this blank that he made, and it looks to me like a blow-in with one of these interesting kind of milky colors, you know, and gives it this really kind of unique and differing thicknesses, kind of make this look where it has these organic transitions. It looks cool as shit, ultimately. But, you know, blow-ins, man, they get kind of gangly, and I thought you guys might like, look at this unique marvering technique that he's doing.
It's like working with soft glass in the furnace.
Yeah, I'm not a soft glass guy, but I really believe this was like a soft glass type of influence technique. And I thought you guys would like to see this. It's just a really unique thing to see done. It's not as exciting as Finn's, but really this is kind of what it is sometimes, though, because if you want to make something like this and it's got some thickness issues and you want to actually be able to do some proper shaping on it, you're going to need to do these condensing steps. And you know, in this case, it's one of those times where you really have to balance your marvering, because if you marver at the wrong time or too often, you're just going to push the unevenness to the inner wall. Whereas if you really take your time here and let it condense back, and then give it the puffing outs and repeating that process, and don't just rely on the marver to make it go from wonky to looking good. You really need to take your time with it, like we're seeing him do here. Soak that heat in, and in doing so, that's what's really gonna make the glass want to just become round again. You know, it's once it gets hot and given the right rotation and all that, it's just like, oh fuck yeah, I'm round, baby, kind of thing. And here, this chunk is a great example. We'll see him, like, he's going to puff it out a good little bit and then marver it back down. And in bringing it out and thinning it out and letting it condense back, you know, this is where all that glass has a chance to kind of reorganize itself into something more even. But I thought this was cool to see, because see that just at that moment it went like a little bit bigger than the diameter of this can he's making. Now he's going to condense it back, and bam. I'm not saying it's perfect yet or anything, but I mean, he just needs to get rid of all that kind of wonk. He was probably like, okay, this is a little too much for me to get into just the shape that I want, and go to make that donut, and all of a sudden you got some super thin spot, you know what I mean? It's just, by taking the time to do this, I think it gave him just a much more happy and shapeable blank that still had all these properties from that blow-in. I assume it's a blow-in. I could be wrong, but I it really looks like that look you get when you do a blow-in and blow one of these colors out that does cool things. All right, and here he's actually going to attach like the top coral, I guess. So I just thought this was a cool chance to watch how he does like a sculptural seal, and then he's going to kind of shape that out a little bit, some of it manually, but a good bit of it just by gravity. And it just ends up having like just like the slightest bend, and it looks so natural. And like I said, man, this is a master at work. I feel honored to be able to share this. And again, a huge shout out to Tito and everyone at the Burn Gallery and to Joe Peters and all these artists who were just so nice about, like I said, having yet another camera in their faces. They're in the middle of a major league competition.
Don't
Right.
didn't you say earlier that they aren't allowed prep?
No, everything has to be done here. It's
So
really cool.
it's all live glass blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last day is judging, or how's that work?
Yeah. There's a there's like an award ceremony and all that.
Have they announced the judges?
The
Or I
judge,
guess
yeah,
the
the
people are
judges are
the
the
judges,
attendees,
right?
yeah, because everybody buys a judge's pass and you get to like put your ticket in for whoever you want to win and all that.
Okay, all
And then
right.
there is an artist choice as well, so the artists also vote on a piece.
So fast glass RVA, get your judging glasses on because you're going to be casting a vote.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's at if it's gonna be like it was last year, it's at a bar that's right down the street, and all the pieces are set up on one side, and there was like a nacho bar or something. It was awesome.
So that rabbit hole or gopher hole behind that, it looked like there was a wall. Is that where the audience is, or?
Yeah, it's all a window here into this, so you can be watching through the window.
All right. So it's like a lineup.
Yep. Now here, look at this. Look at this. Like he was letting it kind of droop down, gave it a puff. That was just a cool little shaping moment there. It all happens really fast, but man, when he's done, all of a sudden it's got the look that he's really going for. And yeah, now just giving that seal a little hand torch action. He's looking at me. Is this guy still here? He was probably like, he better not take 3 years to share this. I'm just playing.
Yeah, yeah. It's
All
like I
right,
was
so
counting on this for votes.
yeah, yeah. All right, so these other ones you can see the same type of deal. Um, they went on solid connections, but they're just hollow chunks of tube that he, opened, and essentially he took that piece of tubing he made earlier and he was just kind of necking down sections of it and kind of reaming them out against the marver, that move that I love, where you've got it hot and you're rolling it in the L marver but pushing it from the inside as well just to make these even sections of smaller tubing. And then probably very very much like we saw him do a second ago live on the top one. It's just that gravity and that puff, I assume. And look at this, guys. This is where he did the offset for the handle. And if you're doing work that has, an interesting connection point, you kind of really need to learn to do this. And I really like this flame that he used. He's got like a nice, look at how crazy bushy that is. I think that was just kind of a way to heat up not too much, you know, but a good spread out zone to make those bends. And I don't even think he had air access at that point because there's like no plug in the thing. And here I want to show you guys the final piece again here after it was done. Here's Joe Peters in the ocean. He was doing research for this piece.
A las mujeres.
But yeah, I mean, no, this dude, he is truly one of just the masters of this organic, natural life sculpting. This piece is incredible. His work is incredible. It's linked in the video description, but I assume you guys are all already familiar with this dude. He is just a legend. Somebody I respected well before I ever touched a torch, and yeah, he's one of these people that kind of, you know, help bridge some gaps too, you know, like his work being in all these amazing places, and then as he transitioned to functionals, you know, it really it just elevates the artistry of functional glass is what it is. And he's just one of these people who is pushing the boundaries of what functional glass can be, you know. And it's one of those the tide rises, you know, all boats rise with the tide or whatever. This motherfucker is the tide, y'all. So I'm not kidding. You know, there's only so many people who have truly pushed this thing so hard, and just tremendous respect. So yeah, tremendous respect for the Burn Gallery. That's where the competition was. The gallery of the finished pieces was at Orlando's Bar and Grill.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, guys, just another moment here, 1 minute of our glassy lives to shout out these companies that make it possible for me to get to all of these shows, and maybe even more importantly, like justify taking so much time away from my own work to edit video, and you know, just kind of make this whole party keep going. And I'm like the luckiest dude ever, but I'm not a rich man, and if it weren't for these companies pitching in, man, there's no way it would not be the same. So a huge shout out to these cats, you know, for believing in me, and you know, trusting my work ethic, and believing in the community that grew around this. That's ultimately what, you know, the secret sauce. It was always you guys. Yeah, like the real sponsors
That's like
were the friends we made along the way.
yeah, it's like a rom-com, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, guys, if you happen to have a fiver to pitch in, man, I throw up cool early footage on Torch Pass, but more importantly, it's just about making this stuff possible. Because again, like when this is all said and done, like who knows how much money I'm losing? Because I really do. I take you know, every show is at least like a day's worth off of work to edit video and all of it. Like I said, I'm not trying to sound like no hero or nothing. It's just this thing doesn't happen without some kind of expense. Freedom isn't free, y'all. Whatever. I'm just playing.
The hefty effing fee is what I hear.
What's that? Yeah. In this case, freedom costs $5. So yeah.
That's
Carrie,
not
thanks
much.
so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing all the work that you do to make this party happen.
Yeah, no worries at all. No worries. It's my pleasure. I really appreciate you dogs out there for tuning in. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Kind of a quick show tonight, but man, it was concentrated dank kind of thing, man. So
that's right.
Again, huge major league mega shout out to the Burn Gallery, to Tito Burn, everyone
who's
over
going
there.
to be joining us for next week's show. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is the plan, and I'm really excited to have him with us. And yeah, we'll get to actually talk. So if you guys have questions for him, questions about the history of Pipe Classic, man, guys, don't sleep on those movies. I linked the current one in the video description, and they've got a bunch of them on their channel. Yeah, man, Pipe Classic is the shit.
And yeah, if you guys think of any questions, email them to mikemason@gmail.com.
Yeah, you can email me.
If
It's
you
all
got any
good. I don't mind.
questions for Tito Byrne about the Pipe Classic and how this all came around and all of your burning desires that you've been waiting to hear, email those questions to mikemason@gmail.com. We're going to pre-record this show. So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, we'll need
get
to
them
ask
to
them
us
in
and then we'll
advance.
be able
So
to join you and chat with it and
that's a great
watch.
point.
Yeah.
Yep. Hell yeah. All right. Well, Carrie, thank you so much for your presence.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
you.
me. Yeah.
Once again,
Appreciate
homies,
you.
thanks so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys. Y'all appreciate the Stoke Dogs. Anyways, all right, y'all. Much love. Appreciate you guys. Good night.